And finally, an article by a Charles Arthur, getting to him finally, of The Guardian in the United Kingdom, predicts, he's talking about that, the death knell is on for Vista. And he says that, they're getting ready to spend $10 million, I believe, to pay Jerry Seinfeld to rep for Vista. And by the way, most people around 18 years old, they were not even born when Seinfeld came on television. They were about 8 years old when it went off the air. So they don't even know who Jerry Seinfeld is. I'm not so sure that Microsoft is probably making the wisest decision using this. Not that I have a problem with Jerry Seinfeld. I loved him in his show, but let's face it was a long time ago, and a lot of younger folks really aren't familiar with what he is or who he is and what he does. But the gist of this article is this: Charles Arthur says, look, I think Vista is great, even though there's class action lawsuits about its selling practices, and it's really putting the pedal to the metal, so to speak, to ship Windows 7. Look, there's no doubt that Microsoft's investing some huge resources to get Vista or the replacement for Vista out the door. I think they really can't wait. And so the inventor of RSS, the pioneer, was a Dave Weiner, and he said, I smell death on Vista. It's got the smell of death. This operating system, look, it's not the only OS Microsoft releases was a stinker, okay? I think we can all remember Windows Me, probably one of the most god-awful operating systems ever made. Microsoft Bob, if any of you recall that. Microsoft, there was Windows 1.0, 2.0, 3.0. It wasn't until 3.1 before Microsoft started getting some traction with Windows. So they've had more than their fair share of failures. Now look, to their defense, Apple also has had some real stinkers. And if anybody remembers the first generation of OS X, the 10.0 series, it was just awful. It was so slow, you couldn't do anything with it. You couldn't do anything practically with that operating system. And there were several versions of the Mac OS that was totally unstable. I'd be honest with you, I thought the System 9 of the Mac OS constantly seemed to freeze and require reboots from me all the time. I was pray that the Mac would do what I wanted to do. But I gotta tell you, OS 10.5, a Leopard, wow. Just an awesome OS, night and day. But back to the death thing is, the question is, why has Vista done so badly? Oh, that's all right. Just go ahead and kill that timer. Thank you. The question is, why has it done so badly? And the reason well, it is gaining traction. People are using it, and as more service packs and patches and everything and drivers are released, it's getting a little better. And I think there's people out there saying, hey, you know what, Vista's not so bad. I've had plenty of people write to me and said, Bruce, that I've used Vista on this machine, that machine, and it's been great. Never had a problem with it. Hey, great for you. But my audience really is designed to be for small business technology, people trying to make a living off their computers. My market's really not gamers and that sort of thing. The DirectX 10. Although as I understand, not too many gamers are taking advantage of that technology, and certainly a lot of people don't have the required video cards and everything to make it work. But I look at it from a business perspective. I look at technology for the purposes of, do you make your living off this stuff? And if you do you really want to use this thing? Is Vista's got the smell of death on it? Absolutely it does. It's an operating system I think Microsoft's working very hard to correct. And I think we're going to see some radical improvements in it when Windows 7 is released. There's going to be a lot of issues addressed, and I think people's going to be they better fix it, because if not, the future of Windows is going to be running in a virtual machine, and people are going to be running Linux or Macs or something like that as their main OS if they don't make this thing better, if they don't fix it. That's my belief. That. That's where Windows is going to end up being delegated to if Microsoft doesn't if they don't start listening to their customer, if they don't start listening to their customer and giving us an operating system that works, that doesn't give us a lot of grief, that when we install it, we can discover the features ourselves. We don't need demos from Microsoft to get the most out of it. And I don't think hiring comedians and so forth to defend it is really going to make a whole lot of difference. I think Microsoft has got too many versions of Vista. That needs to be simplified in the future. It's a very complex operating system for a lot of people. It needs to be made, I think, more intuitive than what it is. I think it can be easier to use. I think it needs to run quicker on existing hardware and not slower. Those are just some of the things. We'll see what they do with Vista 7, but there's a lot of people out there that no doubt believe that Vista's days are quickly numbered, and they're just going to be content to pass on by and sit back with good old XP. We'll